Okay, folks, hopefully you can hear. Oh, there we go.
We have sound.
We have sound. I'm so sorry. Hold on a second. Oh, we need to mute on this side. Where the heck is the sound? There we go. All right, there we go. Oh my gosh, what a rocky little start that was.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if we can get both of us in here properly. There we go. So basically, we are actually here in San Diego, California. Wait, I'm turning this the wrong way. There we go. All right, there's the both of us. Okay, don't move away, Russ. You were perfect, and then you moved.
Okay.
Okay, so we. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, you guys can see, and oh my gosh, what's wrong? Anyway, we are here in San Diego, California for a business retreat, and we have decided we rented an Airbnb when we came.
Yeah.
And we looked at all the different Airbnbs and what our options were, and this one was called glamping. Now, if you don't know what glamping is basically like glamour camping. That's essentially what it stands for. And in this case, it is actually somebody, because it's California and the weather here is amazing, so they have a tent, like a permanent tent in their backyard
Yeah.
on a platform, which is where we are sitting right now. I will show you a picture of what it looked like before we came. So let me see if I can get that on deck. And so you guys can see this.
Yeah,
Let's
at the
see.
top and along the sides.
So this is what it looked like when we got here. This is actually Russ's phone sitting there on the bed. So this is an actual picture that we took. Really cute little tent. It has a mosquito netting, which we haven't needed to use because of this time of year. And let's go back to our really terrible video. Anyway, so this is our little Airbnb that we got here. And originally we looked at it, we went, hey, why not? It's Southern California, it's only November, and it was a little bit chilly last night, but it's supposed to be.
I was actually hot last night.
You were?
I was too hot.
Oh, you were actually, well, that's because you had two blankets.
Because I had a blanket.
They have plenty of blankets here, which is really nice. It's not just the blanket that was on the bed.
There's electric blankets as well. And
they come with some extra electric blankets, which we haven't plugged any of those in. We haven't needed to.
No.
Russ, you're leaning away again.
Sorry.
There we go. You got to be cuddled up to me, honey, in order for this one.
I get too hot, though. You're too hot.
Oh, I know. I'm too hot. I got it. Right. Oh, he's been making terrible puns. So we've actually been here, and, you know, we were talking about the fact of Airbnbs, and one of the rules of this Airbnb is that it is quiet time from 10 p.m. until the next morning at 8 a.m. technically, right? Yeah, 8 a.m. So the other day when yesterday we had a huge training session all day long that actually started at 7 a.m. That we were doing partially online and stuff like that. So
yeah,
we had to be on our computers, and yeah, so we had to put a headset on and be very quiet in the meeting, which is hard for me.
Yes.
Until 8 o'clock.
It was only for an hour.
Yeah, only for the first hour of it. So, but when you're looking at this, so a lot of people with Airbnb becoming more and more popular, what are the reasons? So there was another couple that was here, and I don't know if they're still here or not, but they said, oh man, it's really lame that, that it's quiet time from 10 o'clock. And I'm like, well, actually, that's probably a city ordinance. Because like in the city of Racine, technically the city ordinance says 11 p.m. till 7 a.m., or 6. I'm not sure which it is, but basically 11 till 6 or 7 in the morning is supposed to be quiet in residential neighborhoods. And so I explained to this couple that it was probably because Airbnbs are residential neighborhoods. And what's interesting about them is that how should I say it? The legislation for them has been changing quite a bit.
It has, yeah.
So.
Well, your parents run an Airbnb as well.
Yes.
But in a different state, obviously. They're in Wisconsin.
Yep.
And this is California.
So it could
be completely different.
And each municipality might have different rules as well as to what they allow or don't allow.
So San Diego may be different to Los
Angeles. Wisconsin has said that you cannot forbid somebody from having an Airbnb, unless I think if it's an HOA, but even then an HOA, I think they tried to say
HOA can stop it.
Well, except for HOAs, I think they passed a law that said you can't just because you're in an HOA. Now, you might not allow street parking or this or that, and it might make it completely untenable for you, but they can't technically do that.
But they can stop you from putting up a permanent structure in your
They can,
backyard.
yes. Well, you probably couldn't do this glamping thing.
No.
So, and in Wisconsin, this glamping thing wouldn't work either as an
Would this
Airbnb.
count as a temporary?
This would actually count as a temporary, but this would not work as a permanent Airbnb
No.
for Wisconsin because we're outside.
Summer only.
Summer only in Wisconsin, for sure.
Yeah.
But for those of you,
Igloos in the winter.
for those of you who have never joined us before, come on, honey, you got to keep squishing into me.
Sorry.
I know. I am Kimberly, and this is Russell Mann. Normally, this is a much better quality broadcast because we have a whole studio that we do it in.
Yeah, normally we're coming to you from our studio where we're all geared up. We've got multiple cameras.
Yep.
So we can show it from different angles and things like that.
Yep.
So it's all geared up. We have our professional
So we're not going to stay on
systems.
too long tonight
So,
because
yeah.
this is probably doesn't have the professional audio or video, and it's probably going to do your heads in. So we just wanted to come on for a little bit, tell you guys hi. We're here in San Diego. We've been having a great week. We've learned a lot. Our business mentorship, we're probably going to meet up with our business mentor tomorrow or the next day. Don't know exactly when. She's going to let us know. She knew we had our live broadcast tonight, and she's flying in this evening. So I don't know if we'll meet up with her tonight or if it's going to be tomorrow. I think probably tomorrow.
So that's cool that we were here, and when she heard that we were here, she said, "Oh, I'm gonna be there."
And she's normally in Toronto, so the fact that she's in Toronto and we're in Wisconsin, we've both flown all the way to San Diego, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That we're gonna get to meet up with her hopefully while she's here. So at least that's the plan, unless our schedules just completely don't.
Yeah.
But yesterday we went to Coronado Beach, and looking around, there's a lot of Airbnbs actually in the San Diego area. And this is not a particularly fancy house, even with the Glamp.
Small house, but
Small house.
It has several studios and.
It has a studio off the back of the house.
Cabin.
It has a cabin down at the foot, and then it has this glamping. So they have two permanent structures, and then this kind of temporary structure. And we in the cabin at the bottom share a bathroom with a shower, but it's actually quite nice. It's a building, so it's not like you feel like you're actually outside, but it is kind of like a campsite where you have to walk to the building to to do that. And of course you're sharing it with one other couple or person or whoever's staying in the cabin, which is only one bedroom. It's only got one bed, so it's not like there's only two people maximum there. So so I was thinking about the fact
that there's a hot tub on site as well.
There's a hot tub, there's a fire pit, there's all sorts of really cool stuff. Plus, the best thing, if you're looking for something, if you're traveling and you're trying to save money to maybe upgrade your house, really, this was one of the reasons that we were attracted to this one is because it was like $42 for like 10 minutes from downtown San Diego. That's like nothing money-wise. Pretty much everything else we looked at that was a hotel or even an Airbnb, most of them were 100 and more.
And we thought this would be something novel, something fun.
Yeah.
So
so far it has
been.
And so far it's been really fun.
Yeah.
We've really enjoyed it. Definitely worth the money. So if you do want to know about this one specifically, let us know. We'll kind of hook you up on the Airbnb site, let you know which one it is so you know.
Yeah.
But it's an Airbnb. It's glamping in a tent with a jacuzzi, I think is what they've advertised it, with Kelly. Kelly's the host name, so you want to check that out. But I was also thinking about, people who might want to buy a house Airbnb-ing it. Or maybe they want to Airbnb their own house. What do they need to know? Well, first of all, you need to find out what your local municipality's rules are for quiet times, for how many people can occupy. Sometimes you can just rent out a room in your house, though, which would be really great if you're trying to save some extra money and put some extra stuff out there. That'd be a really great way to do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So drop us a hashtag live if you are watching live here on Facebook or YouTube or wherever, and hashtag replay if you're watching this later. But yeah, so first of all, you want to check out what the municipality, what their rules are. Secondly, you want to make sure that you have some safety protocols in place. Make sure that your people can secure things. The one thing I think that could be improved here that I would like is if there was a little dresser. And there is room for it. That's the thing. There's actually space for a little dresser here.
And it could do with like one of those little electric fan heaters that you can use as a fan when it's hot and a heater in the evening.
Probably don't want that here because of the flowing fabrics in here.
Well,
they might not want a heater thing because it might actually you could burn it up. But it hasn't been cold enough to need it.
But there are a couple of big fridges.
Yeah, there's a couple of big fridges. So there are some things you want to consider if you do want to Airbnb See if I can get Russ to get back in here. All right, there we go. Come on, honey. Lean on me. So obviously you want to check out your municipality and the rules for that. You also want to check out what your current neighborhood allows or doesn't allow as far as like parking. Do they allow on-street parking or not? Because that made a difference in which one we chose.
It did.
Because there
Yeah.
was on-street parking
There's
advertised
not
here.
enough off-street parking here
But
for
there's enough on street.
all of
We've
the.
not really had a
Yeah.
problem finding a space within a house or
No,
two.
no.
So it's been really
Yeah.
good.
Might be a pain to the neighbours, but
Well, except for there's actually 3 or 4 of them in this neighborhood. So
yeah.
the neighbors are probably fine with it because they're
Uh-huh.
used to it and everything. So, and most of the neighbors do have off-street parking, so they're not really impeded.
Yeah.
It's only if they have guests or something. But there's also, it's a very residential neighborhood. It's not at all like in a city center or anything like that. But
Yeah.
here, it's
Well,
also,
we're
so that's
close enough. We're pretty close to downtown.
so that's the other thing. When you're considering doing an Airbnb, what are the amenities that you would want to advertise to your people who are coming to your
Yeah.
house? But it is a great way because let's say you rent out the room. Let's say it's just a room in your house. Maybe you've got one that has easy access from the garage or from a side door or something, and you rent that out twice, 3 times a month at $100 a night, or maybe even $50 a night.
Yeah.
That's 150 extra bucks in your pocket. Now, of course, you have to pay taxes on it, but 150 bucks extra in a month is a really nice little chunk of change.
Yeah.
That you could, throw in something. And that's a really low level Airbnb. My parents have an Airbnb up north, and they're booked a lot. Like
They are.
they are constantly booked. So
And
we
they
actually
have
are going up for
multiple rooms.
We actually are going up at Thanksgiving, and I made sure that we actually booked a room with them so that we made sure that it was reserved as soon as we knew we were going up there.
So we get the room we want.
Exactly.
And we will pay.
Well, I mean, we did pay them because because here's the thing, they
It
would
is
lose
their
out on
business.
they would lose out on revenue if we're staying there without it. So, and it's just more convenient for us. Actually, normally we get a hotel when we go up to that area, but this time with your mom coming,
We have done.
so
Yeah, we've.
Airbnb, you need to pay attention to like what are your amenities. So for like my parents, they live on a river. There's snowmobiling trails that are not that far away for the winter time. There's a lot of fishing right in their backyard. They've got a great fishing river.
Don't tell people about it.
I know. You want it to be
That's
your
my
fishing.
hotspot.
I know it's supposed to be your fishing river. I got it. But like this one, they have the jacuzzi. They have the outdoor kitchen. They've got a chimenea, like a fire pit. They've got plenty. They actually have plenty of tables and spaces to sit and eat and relax and chill. We actually sat down. They have a second patio down below us that actually has a sofa in it that was super comfy, and we sat down there with a blanket last night and watched a movie. So great Wi-Fi. Obviously, that's really important.
What movie do you think we watched?
Yeah, drop it in the chat if you want to. If you think you know what movie we watched, we're not going to tell you.
Give them a clue.
My name is Inigo. I don't have to use a pun. I'll just use a quote. Okay. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepared to die. Yeah. That's obvious. If you know the movie, you know the movie. That's not even like hard. That's like easy. Or As You Wish. That's the other one. As You Wish. So anyway, but drop a comment in the chat if you think you know what the movie was that we watched last night. But these are the things, like having Wi-Fi, really important to us because we knew this was a business retreat. Having easy access to downtown and the beaches and stuff was good for us. In Racine and Kenosha, we've got great waterfront spaces. So it doesn't mean you have to be on the waterfront, as long as you have easy, close access to maybe a public park or things like that.
It was cool. I was in my element because we had all the.
There's a naval base here.
Naval base.
The naval air base.
Aircraft coming in.
So
So I saw an Osprey for the first time, a Boeing Osprey. You know, the one where the engines turn and it can do the vertical liftoff. I've seen them on films, never seen them in real life. So that was the first, and I got to paddle in the Pacific. Another first.
So you can see Russ was very excited about the helicopters.
Yeah.
So he's very into aircraft. And in fact, if you've been watching, you'd see on our TAMT Homes page, we recently put up a story about how his love of aircraft is how he learned to read.
Yeah.
It's the reason that he actually can read very well today. You should check that out on the TAMT Homes page on Facebook or Instagram. It goes up there too. So anyway, we don't want to be on here for too long, but if you have any questions, put them in the chat. And if you want to guess what movie, put it in the chat as well. And hopefully we will hear from you guys soon. We will be next week. don't actually know what's happening next week. Next week's going to be a bit of a surprise. I'm going to be in England, and Russ is going to be
I'm not.
back at home.
Yeah.
So we will have a
How
live.
did that happen?
We will
You
have a.
get to go to my home, and I stay here in your home.
I must have done something right. So we're going to. We
She's
will have a
gonna get fish
broadcast.
and chips.
We're going to have a broadcast next week. So definitely tune in next week at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
It just isn't going to be like this week. That's for sure. It will be better. It's not going to be any worse. Cannot be any worse. That's
Yeah,
for
I've
sure.
got to run it from the studio.
Yes.
Ooh.
With me remoting in. That's going to
Yes.
be fun. I got to teach him how to do this, folks. That's going to be hilarious. All right. You guys have a great evening, and we will see you next week. And then the week after that is Thanksgiving. So we might do like a rerun. I don't know.
We may not be on.
We may not be live, but we will have a live broadcast.
Okay.
So anyway, great to see you guys. If you have any questions though about real estate or Airbnb or any of the other things you should consider if you're going to do an Airbnb, let us know. Otherwise, bye for now.
Bye.